This week on What to Watch, Army of the Dead is a Vegas-set zombie heist movie. I bet they really took advantage of that buffet.
That's crossing the line.
Plus, we'll tell you if seeing the new movie Plan B should be your Plan A.
Love a good high school party.
And we are getting the party started because Pink is here.
No pressure.
Start checking the sky for UFOs. It's time for What to Watch. At last, M&M's Mix, all together in one bag. Hello and welcome to Entertainment Weekly's What to Watch, the show where EW staff help you solve your viewing dilemmas. I'm your host, Gerrad Hall, and I'm joined by two coworkers whose invites to Ariana Grande's wedding must have also gotten lost in the mail. Assistant Features Editor Mary Sollosi and Senior Writer Clark Collis. Thanks for being here. How are you guys?
Thanks for having me, Gerrad.
Uh-oh, we're on the hunt for a brand new teen comedy, and while we might not get it in 24 hours, next week Hulu is going to supply us with Plan B. Plan B tells the story of a straight-edge high school student who, upon waking up after her first party, must take a road trip with her best friend to find the morning after pill. The two only have 24 hours, and of course, absurdity ensues. So Mary, is this the summer comedy we've been waiting for?
I think it might be. I thought it was a lot of fun, Gerrad. It reminded me of the teen movies that I grew up watching, so I loved it.
Okay, so these the stars here, Kuhu Verma and Victoria Morales. We've seen them in The Big Sick and Teen Wolf, respectively, but this is, for both of them, their first huge role. So what do you make of their performances, and do you kind of foresee them blowing up into bigger stars?
Well, I mean, I certainly hope so. I mean, I could see it happening. I hope they do. For me, the thing that struck me the most was the two of them have such great chemistry, which I think is so important in a movie like this. It's about these two friends, like them together against the world, trying to achieve this impossible task. And so you really felt their chemistry come through, and their friendship was totally credible and familiar. So that's what I thought really jumped off the screen with the two of them.
Let's talk about here representation, because this film has AAPI representation. It has female representation, both in front of and behind the camera, which of course the industry is striving so hard right now to be better in all of these areas. Plan B, I mean, this feels like a big deal in more ways than just it's a great fun summer movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's like, certainly with the representation, and it comes from a space of cultural specificity with the creative team behind it. And, talking about those Teen Quest movies, we really think of them being about like a bunch of white guys trying to lose their virginity, right? That's what those are always about. And this is not what that is. And I think that really makes it an exciting addition to that canon.
All right, moving on. Zack Snyder's new cut, Army of the Dead, is a zombie extravaganza starring Dave Bautista, Omari Hardwick, and Ella Purnell, and it is streaming right now on Netflix. This plot combines a flashy Vegas heist with a tender family reunion, and it is flush with quippy mercenaries and glorious gore. I think Clark liked that description. So Clark, who is our resident zombie expert, Clark, what can be said about Army of the Dead? Will it appeal to a broad blockbuster audience, or is this for Snyder fans only?
I think, well, I mean, first of all, a lot of films would be happy just getting the same amount of people as there are Snyder fans to watch their film. He has a lot of fans. But yeah, I think it could appeal to a broad audience. It's interesting because this is his first Zack Snyder's first zombie movie since his first movie, the Dawn of the Dead remake from 2004. And Zack Snyder spent, really his entire career since, and certainly the last 10 years, making these epic movies in the DC universe. And when I heard it was a zombie heist movie, I thought, oh, I guess he's giving himself a break from like stuff that's epic. He's just going to make like this, sort of cool little movie. But I'd forgotten that Zack Snyder relaxes by making epic things. And this is... I mean, this is really epic. It is epic in sort of emotional themes. It is epic in its visual scope. If you like the Snyder Cut, then I think this is for you, definitely, yeah.
Okay. So is that to say that there's very Snyder imagery that has kind of stuck with you and that people will enjoy?
Well, there is. But actually, my favorite bit was the opening was the title sequence. We actually have a little article about this. You can read it online, but it's almost like a mini film in itself. I mean, it may not be the most Zack Snyder-y part of the movie, but it kind of reminded me that my favorite part of Watchmen is the title sequence, which is not to dismiss the rest of it, but you're like, wow, this is like an epic but crisp mini movie in itself, and I think that's the case here as well.
All right, we need to take a quick break, but when we get back, raise a glass because Pink is here. But first, today's How I Watch is brought to you by M&M's Mix.
Oh, hello. I'm Sam Heifel from Entertainment Weekly, and this is How I Watch. First step, always sit on the right side of the couch. Step 2, add pillows. Step 3, add slippers. Step 4, pick a mug. Step 5, sit back and relax.
Welcome back to What to Watch. Guys, I am so excited to be speaking with one of my favorite singers. It's the one, the only, 3-time Grammy winner, Pink. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I'm doing great. And like I said, truly, really so excited to be talking with you. So let's start on the new documentary, Pink. All I Know So Far. It debuts May 21st, Amazon Prime Video. It's such a wonderfully raw and candid glimpse into your life on the road for that sold out Beautiful Trauma world tour. Was the final product what you originally set out to do, or did this have different iterations?
I wasn't sure. I wasn't even sure why anybody would want to watch it. But I feel 2 years later, I feel really proud, and I really miss live music. Those are my two takeaways. Not a lot of women are headlining stadiums, right? Not enough, I would say. And I'm one of the lucky ones. And, I bust my butt to be a mom, to be a daughter, to be a wife, to be a good human, and to be the best performer. And I would say that it's less concert and more life.
You talk a lot about being a mom here, and that you were never really kind of sure you wanted to be one until you were. And you talk a lot about your own upbringing. When you get to sit down in this way and talk to camera, answer someone's questions for the documentary, does it turn out to be therapeutic?
It is therapy. I think everything I do is therapeutic. I'm constantly having to process my life as a songwriter, and I'm constantly having to process other people's experiences because I'm a fighter and because I have a platform. And so I'm a total Virgo that way.
You aren't stopping with the documentary. There's a lot going on here. A lot of levels to this. The title comes from your new single. It's out. I can't stop listening to it. And that one's so interesting because I don't think I would have expected a collaboration with Benj Pasek and Justin Paul. How did that even happen?
I'm obsessed with them. And I'm obsessed with La La Land and The Greatest Showman and Dear Evan Hansen and everything else they've done. And ever since I redid A Million Dreams with Willow, I've been in love with them. And I just thought, I'm a total theater nerd. And I thought, who better to write the story of my life than with story writers like that? And so the song ended up being a letter to my daughter. And I thought, if this last year has made us all think probably what's important. And if I go tomorrow, what do I want to leave behind for my children and for the world? And that's basically this song. No pressure.
Also in the documentary, you read this very personal letter from a fan that is just so incredibly touching. You say you get a lot of those letters, and those are really a lot of the main reason why you keep doing what you do. So I'm curious, when did you start feeling a responsibility of being a role model and someone who is, positively impacting people's lives in such a profound way?
I guess misunderstood when I was opening for Lenny Kravitz, and this mom and daughter came up to me after sound check. The mom was talking to me, and she said that she had been through a really nasty divorce with her daughter's father, and that her and her daughter hadn't spoken for several years, and that they were both driving in the same town at the same time, across town from each other, and Family Portrait came on the radio, and they pulled over and called each other. And it was the start of them rebuilding their bridges. And so the immense responsibility of that, the honor of that I just think music is really healing that way.
You talk about being a Virgo. I'm a Cancer. I get emotional, and that you're starting to get me there. So, but you are this year's Billboard Music Awards Icon Recipient of the Year. What I love about this award so much is that we get this like mega mashup performance at the show. So
that's my favorite part.
This medley, like we're getting that from you this year too.
Anytime somebody wants to give me 8 minutes, I will fill it up.
Take it.
The first couple minutes of this performance will probably go down in history as my favorite thing I've ever done.
Oh, if that's not a tease, I don't know what is. I will be
Unless
glued
it goes
to the
horribly
TV.
wrong.
No,
And then it'll be the worst thing I ever did.
No, not at all. It's going to be great. Well, listen, everyone can check out Pink, All I Know So Far, May 21st, Amazon Prime Video. The single's out. The album, the Billboard Music Awards are May 23rd on NBC. So much going on, and I cannot thank you enough for your time. Well, that is it for our show. Thanks to my guests, Collis and Mary Sollosi. We will see you next week on What to Watch.